Welcome everyone to Post Crisis Chat. I'm your co-host Randy, and with me is my ever-present co-host.
You can call me Cookie.
We will.
And if you are a oh yeah, you better call me Cookie. And if you're a first-time viewer, we welcome you. Please remember to smack that like video, the like button down there, subscribe to us, hit the notification bell so that you're always going to be in tune with when we drop new videos and stuff. You're not going to want to miss out.
It really is, and it's such a small thing to do, but it really helps the channel. We want to grow this as much as we possibly can. You're not a first-time viewer with us, so welcome back. We are so thankful to have you here.
And also remember to check us out on our socials. You can find us on Blue Sky and on Patreon. And don't forget that Patreon subscribers get access to Post Crisis Chat Book Club. That is coming soon.
Yes, we will tell you a week ahead of time which issues we will be recording for the show and give you a chance to comment on those issues, and then we'll read some of your comments right here on this video.
Now, let's get this out of the way. Be advised that we will be talking about decades old spoilers about the issue we will be discussing today. So if you have not read it, it's your fault. And today, speaking of the issues, we will be discussing Saga of the Swamp Thing number 29. For those who don't know, I have my physical copy right here.
The Saga of the Swamp Thing 29 is written by Alan Moore with pencils by Stephen Bissette and inks by John Totleben. Totleben. I mispronounced it, I think. You know what? If we ever mispronounce anything, yell at us about it in the comments. We want to know about it.
Yeah. Yes, please call us out because I don't want to be one of those YouTube channels that's going to get like all offended if you call me out. It's like, no, call me out. Come at me, bro. Come at me. And a little behind the scenes things I want to throw out there real quick. Randy doesn't know I'm going to do this. The little script that I'm reading off of, I purposely did not pronounce or did not say the name of the writer and artist because I love it when he says it because he likes to stumble over the names sometimes, and I think it's adorable.
That's so nice of you. So would you do me a favor and would you hold that cover back up? Because I actually have a note about the cover when we start talking about it.
Yeah, let me pull it out of the bag here because we don't want glare. We don't want to blind people. This is the cover for issue 29. Try and get as
Yes,
much
and
as lit.
so
There we go.
the first thing I noticed when I was looking at this cover is we noticed that Swamp Thing looks pissed at Abby. You can see all the red in the background, indicating the anger behind how he's feeling and the expressions on his face, and how Abby looks really upset. That's like the first thing I noticed when I opened the book and started reading the issue.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh, but then to be fair, I just realized that that's an eyeball too. I had no idea what I was looking at the moment. But yeah, he does look angry. This I'm actually a little worried about Abby looking at this cover. I'm kind of like, Swamp Thing's not the kind of guy that you want to burn dinner when he's coming home from work because he looks like he could probably hurt you.
And then the last time Swamp Thing saw Abby, he did yell at her. And this cover is a reminder of that. It's like, when these came out a month apart, this cover is getting you back into what happened, reminding you of what happened in the last issue. I actually like that a lot. I kind of wish more
I,
comics
I
would do
do
that.
I do too. I kind of appreciate that. Now I feel like I should have paid more attention to the cover because, to be honest, when I read this, I forgot about what happened last issue about him being mad. So I thought maybe I skipped something. I was like, did I miss an issue somewhere?
You can check out our last episode where we talked about that. But just as a quick reminder for the folks at home who might have forgotten, Abby called Swamp Thing Alec, and he got very upset by that. He was not okay with that, and he yelled at her, and she ran off out of the swamp.
And I can't blame him. I mean, like he's not Alec anymore, and he's trying to move on with his life, and she keeps screwing up. I mean, if I had a girlfriend, from my lips to God ears, if I had a girlfriend and like she started calling me like Bob or something, I would be a little annoyed too. I probably would not appreciate it.
I feel like that's fair. So when we open the book, it's a cold open. The narrator lets us know that Abby is trying to get some sort of smell off of herself. It says it smells like you were a kid and you would take a magnifying glass and you would burn a bug. It smells like that, which apparently everybody is supposed to know about, but that's not ever something I did as a kid.
Yeah, I never did it either, so, I kind of felt like, are we missing out something from our childhood? Was this like a rite of passage that we just did not get in on?
God, I hope not. It seems cruel to torture bugs like that. I understand they're bugs, but I don't know.
It does.
Not my thing.
I no, I hate spiders. I'm terrified of spiders, cannot stand them, but I even feel guilty when I have to kill a spider, so it's like I can't imagine killing a bug.
Right? And they look so sad and pathetic when their little legs curl up into a ball. Yeah, it's terrible.
Alright, now we got yeah, we gotta stop because now I'm gonna cry.
So we see Abby scrubbed herself so hard to get rid of the smell that she had injured herself and passed out on the floor after 20 minutes of scrubbing herself. And that's how we open. That's our cold open. One thing I did want to mention was in the credits in that opening in those opening pages by the writer, letter artist, and all of that. There's some very nicely drawn bugs, very nice art there. And you previously mentioned, Cookie, that the set likes drawing wildlife and bugs and things of that nature.
He seems to because, like I said, the book that I discovered him on was, Tyrant, which I believe at the time was either being published by Kitchen Sink or it might have been republished, through Dark Horse. I don't recall who it was that had it at the time, but he puts a lot of detail into dinosaurs, animals, stuff like that, like, really, really good artwork on those.
Yeah, and I thought the artwork on the bugs right here looked great. I mean,
I
it's
thought
very
I mean,
detailed.
the 2 yeah, I mean, the two-page spread that I'm looking at here, it's, aside from the panels down at the bottom, which are, like, not bad, but, I mean, I understand you gotta put a lot of detail in certain things, and then you're gonna have to rush other stuff, but that big double spread of Abby, like, curled over, and that's really well done. I mean, it's very, very creepy, like, even the look on her face, like, she's like a zombie.
Yeah, and I even put that in my notes as something I wanted to talk about. You can see Abby doubled over in pain right there with a red swamp thing like drawn inside the confines of her body, and I think that's her own personal feelings that Swamp Thing was angry at her. She's still dealing with that.
That would make sense. That would definitely make sense. And also, it's kind of ironic that Swamp Thing is down by her butt, and so it's kind of like like okay, she's mad at him, and or he's mad at her, and so right now they're both kind of a pain in the butt to each other. So
Oh, I
like
hadn't thought
very
about
very
that.
yeah.
That's perceptive. I like
I mean
that.
that's I think that's just me being kind of a smart so and so and throwing it out there. But now that I say it out loud, it kind of actually fits.
Yeah, no, it does. That's a good call. But then we start getting a narration about a dream. Abby is out in the swamp. She's happy. Swamp Thing says he's missed her, and they seem to be kind of making up and be friends again. Abby acknowledges in this dream that she made Swamp Thing mad, and she apologizes to him. Swamp Thing even
That
tells
was
her it doesn't matter anymore, and it's okay to call him Alec.
Yeah, that was the dream thing, like, usually it's difficult when you get into dream sequences, whether it be film, television, books, comics, anything, it's like dream sequences are always hard to pull off, and like, going into that, the moment I found out this was a dream, I kinda felt myself detach a little bit, I was like, "Okay, we'll see where it goes," but I'm already not happy.
Are you like me that you don't like dream episodes?
If they're done right, I don't mind them, but they're usually done wrong so often that it's very rare for me to find one that I like.
I don't want to digress too much, but I don't think I've ever seen one I liked.
The closest one I can think of off the top of my head, and I'll make this brief, that was like a dreamish kind of one was episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where
Mm,
she was in the mental institution, and it was just because the ending it ended in a way where you didn't know which reality was actually real, and
I
it
don't
was kind of
remember
up
that
to
one,
you.
but
That
I'm
if
gonna
this
have
is
to
if
see if
I'm
I can
remembering
find it.
it correctly. It was a good episode. That was one I really enjoyed, and I'm probably gonna get ripped apart because people probably hate it, but that's okay.
All right. So Abby tells Swamp Thing that she thought Swamp Thing hated her, which to me plays into our previous discussion. Go check out our previous episode about how insecure Abby is. She thought she was going to lose Swamp Thing as a friend.
Yeah, it's like he does a good job of really capturing the whole insecurity thing because she had kind of ebbs and flows. Like last issue she seemed fine. She was happy, content. Everything was cool in the world for her. And then now she's like back to kind of being depressed and a lot of anxiety there. And then it feels like that's kind of how it is with a lot of that stuff. If you have your ups and downs.
Yeah, that's true. She also mentions that the smell in the dream smelled good, not like this new smell that she's smelling that she was trying to like scrub off of herself. So that smell that she was trying to scrub off of herself before she passed out is seeming to permeate this dream now.
Yeah, which is an odd thing to think of, and this is going to sound like a joke, and it partially is. Of like you don't imagine Swamp Thing smelling good. Like he doesn't look like he smells good, but at the same time, I can kind of see it's like, well, okay, well, fresh flowers, fresh grass, probably water. It's like maybe he does have a distinct smell that's actually pretty good.
I have never thought about Swamp Thing smell before, but you're absolutely right. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head as I read from now on. Then we switch back to Matt and Abby, and we're apparently still in the dream. Matt says he has three surprises for Abby. Everybody likes surprises, right? Surprise number one is that Matt has found a house for him and Abby. The house is furnished, so it's like this perfect situation.
And that is definitely something I would be worried about too. So like you kind of see, and even in the beginning of this, that there is a little bit of concern with the surprises. Because yeah, how often do you find a house that nice looking that's furnished? I think Abby even brings up is like, so they just decided not to pack up everything and move.
Right, and it's going to turn out to be affordable too, which is going to get into the second surprise, but we'll get there in a second. As they're touring the house, we get to the bedroom. And when they get to the bedroom, that's where the bad smell is. The one Abby was previously trying to wash off of herself, but it goes away pretty quickly.
Which is, I mean, that's how you can tell it's a dream. Coming from experience, I live in my bedroom, and it takes a long time for the smell of me to get out of my bedroom, and it's not always a pleasant smell.
All right, so then the second surprise is Matt found a job, and that's how he intends to afford the house. Do you happen to have it handy there what that place was called?
I believe it was called Black River Recorporations.
Right, and Abby kept asking Matt, or no, she didn't ask him. Abby kept wondering to herself what recorporations.
I was kind of like wondering what that meant. Like, were they referencing something from the past, or is this a word that I'm just not smart enough to understand what it is? It sounds ominous,
It does.
and es- especially like once you learn the name and there's a specific panel that you start to kind of really start scratching your head of like, okay, what's going on here?
Well, right after that, we meet Matt's boss, Eric Loveday, and then they go inside and meet the staff of the office. And Abby says she saw just for a moment where the smell was coming from. One of the rooms inside the office is full of undead corpses, one of which appears to have a bullet in its head. I thought that art in that undead panel was just amazing. I love that art. It was so detailed. Bissett did such a good job on that.
He did. The panel layout for that was great too, of the anticipation of like slowly pushing the door open, and then you get the creak with a little peek of what's going inside. Then there's the corpses, the shock on Abby's face, and then you go back to like what the people supposedly look like. So it's like they did the pacing of that really well, and like that's the panel where I was like, okay, recorporations, corpse. This is
Right,
interesting. Where is this going?
exactly. Abby starts to get faint, and then Matt and Abby are outside again. and she chooses not to tell Matt about the undead corpses that she saw.
Let me bring up one thing. I don't know if you were gonna bring this up later, but since you jumped to the outside, I thought what was a really cool little thing that they did was how she recognized the name of one of Matt's coworkers, because that is very important later.
Did she recognize it at that point? Or, oh no, she just
Yes.
thought she had heard it before? Or did she know who it was?
Yeah. She didn't know who it was, but she recognized it like how when you hear a name, you
Okay.
feel like you know it.
Right.
I believe it
Okay.
was I believe it was Sally Parks was the name.
That sounds
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Sally Parks. I see it in my notes. All right. So, yes, she recognizes Sally Parks, and then we jump outside. Matt says he is saving the third surprise for later. They head back to their new house, and inside, they go to bed, but she senses that the bad thing is still there. Whatever is causing the smell is coming from the bedroom. She notices that there is a bug taste in her mouth, and I personally have to wonder if it might be maybe like a fly.
That's kind of what I was suspecting. I mean, like you did say you smelled like burned bugs. You do know that there was a fly in the ointment, so to speak here. So, connection.
Maybe. And then it implies heavily in the book that they had sex,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
definitely. Yeah,
gonna
very
come up
very
a little
implied.
later. Yeah. I wanted to
Yeah,
point that
well,
out as we move forward.
yeah, that is like remember that people because there's going to be a very big discussion about this towards the end.
Uh huh. Then the comic says she moves into Swamp Thing's dream, where he has found a bird fallen in black grass. The bird is bloodied and dead, but it also seems to be moving, and she questions why it's moving. At that point, I kind of wondered. I didn't really understand. Maybe the bird was undead. I wasn't sure what was going on with that.
Yeah, I wasn't following that either because that's kind of what I thought. Like, was it dead? And I know sometimes like dead animals, they will continue to twitch because like nerves and stuff like that will continue to like fire off and everything. Was it possibly undead? Was it going to come back to life? It was a little confusing. Thankfully, we will get a resolution to that answer.
Yes, we will. So then, let's see. Swamp Thing reaches out, and then I think he's reaching out towards the bird, and then something is happens where she is pulled out of Swamp Thing's dream, and the bad smell is surrounding her.
It's the bad smell. It's like they bring it up so much that like you can't help but know, like have like a feeling. You have like a gut feeling as to what's coming. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Then
yet
we
yet
go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I I will point out like I had an idea as to where this was going to lead to, and at the end of the book, I was like, okay, like it did shock me. There was a bit of a shock. I wasn't 100% like correct in my assumption.
Okay. Well, I'd like to explore that a little more when we get towards the end. So then we go to Abby, who is at the local library, and honestly, at this point, I am unclear if this is part of the dream or not. What do you think?
Yeah, I assumed it wasn't part of the dream just because of like where it kind of leads to. But the first time it happens, I'm like not sure if she's jumping like in and out of different dreams or like what exactly is happening. But I'm going to assume that like after what she did kind of discovers that this was a real moment.
And then we get back to that part that was foreshadowed before with Sally Parks. Abby finds a book on Sally Parks, who was one of Matt's coworkers. And in the book, it says Sally Parks killed 15 people for no reason at all and was shot dead by the police 22 years prior. Once again, reminding us that this is a horror comic.
Oh yeah. I mean, if the artwork isn't like giving you the horror vibe, then obviously the story is going to give it to you because this is hands down probably the biggest horror issue of Swamp Thing I have read thus far.
Now, one thing I would like to comment on, the art when she is in the library looks very poor. It looks very rushed. It looks very simple. face, like her face, one eye is just below the other. I mean, this is just the art is terrible in this section.
There's one panel in specific where she, to me, she looked like a white-haired Amy Schumer.
Interesting. Which panel is that?
It was the one where she goes into the library, and it's the very last panel on the bottom right.
Yep. Okay.
Uh, you see it? You see it?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was talking about with the eyes not being
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And
The art is just horrible there. But you
yeah.
notice when we get to the book, he did a really amazing job with the face on the book.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you don't bring it up, I'm bringing it up because that is one of the creepiest looking drawings. I'm looking at it now. It's like, because I'm flipping through as we go here, and that is just that is like a 100% pure psycho right there. Like that chick looks like she's nuts, and he did a beautiful job like conveying that emotion.
And then at that point, Abby is wondering how many of Matt's other coworkers are dead. And maybe I'm thinking she should be wondering if Matt's dead or not at this point because of all the things going on with him.
I think I thought that eventually, but I think my initial thought was like, you literally had a glimpse of a room full of zombies. At this point, it's like I'm pretty sure none of them are alive. I mean, if you see this book and you remember your flashback, chances are none of them are just like have skin conditions.
Then the bad thing, the bad smell starts coming up from deep inside. And I guess at this point she apparently wakes up. Maybe, I'm not really sure. It wasn't clear to me, but she knows the bad thing, the bad smell is coming from her, and that's when she starts taking off all her clothes and starts trying to scrub herself, and where she gets that injury that we saw at the beginning. And at that point, when you're scrubbing yourself so hard that you're injuring yourself, that bothered me a little bit. That made me a little disturbed. Like, there's not a lot in comics that does that, but that one was kind of ooh.
Yeah, it kind of got to me a little bit too, but I think it's just more because like I know what it feels like to kind of like, I guess for me it'd be like if you scratch yourself raw, like if you get like a bug bite or something like that, you keep scratching and it just gets raw and it starts bleeding because you can't stop scratching. So I imagine that's kind of what it's like to do that. So I instantly winced of kind of like, ooh, that yeah, that's not a comfortable feeling.
Yeah, and the wound looked pretty big, actually.
It I don't remember if they showed it later on, but I remember the initial wound we saw in that double page spread, it looked bad. I mean, it looked like she basically just was ripping her shoulder out.
Yeah, and you can see the wound on her shoulder in some of those later panels too.
Yeah.
But also, some of those later panels had some close-ups of her face that, again, the art just looks rushed. It's not good. I don't think this guy likes drawing faces, honestly.
I don't think, I mean, like I said, I hate to keep going back to Tyrant, but it's not even just Tyrant. I remember he did a Godzilla book at one point or something like a single one shot or something. And I think he's a lot like some of the like let's say like Frank Quitely, where it's if you give him time to do 6 issues in 3 years, it's going to be fantastic.
Mm,
But if you rush him, it's gonna not look as beautiful.
right. And it's about that time that Matt comes home with all his coworkers, and they all seem to be talking about how nervous Abby looks. And then we turn the page and we get that gorgeous two-page spread. Matt grabbing Abby by the hair, holding her arm. You've got Sally Parks holding Abby's other arm, and the undead just surrounding the two of them. They seem to be standing in a mountain of bugs. There's the background, which it looks kind of like a dead swamp thing in the background. Like, this page is just gorgeous, except for Abby's face.
It really is, and I mean, people who are longtime Swamp Thing fans judging by this page, will automatically know what all this is referencing. Because with Matt saying, just say uncle, uncle being emphasized, the picture in the background, all Swamp Thing fans should know who that is. So it's like, I mean, like, even though I think, I don't even believe they fully reveal it in this issue, they actually reveal it in this issue.
Yes, just say uncle. I kind of understood what was going on there thanks to some of our past conversations on this show, which, creepy AF. So, but then we switch back to Swamp Thing, who is in the swamp and reaching out towards the bird. He discovers that the reason the bird that we saw earlier was moving is because the bird is covered in bugs, and even bugs filling up the bird. The bird was never alive in the first place, and that's where the issue ends.
That would be, and before we go any further, there's a couple things I want to point out. Two things art wise. There was, I don't know if you caught it, but after the sex scene, uh, if you caught in that panel where they're laying in bed together and you see the reflection of them in the mirror, did you happen to notice that Matt's face looks like a zombie?
I did not. I'm looking for that right now. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so cool. No, I did not catch that. Nice.
Yeah, when I was reading it, I just happened to notice that, and I was like, "That's beautiful foreshadowing of what's to come."
Yes, it is. And my fault for not looking closely enough at the panel at the time. All right.
And then the last thing I
Yeah,
want
go
to
for
point
it.
out, because I know you're reading these in the trades and everything. So I don't know if in the trades they have, since I'm doing the single issues, they had a bonus pinup of Swamp Thing in this issue. I don't know if that shows up in the trade or not, but I just thought, like, if it doesn't, for people that don't have the single issue, this is what was in there. It is awesome. This is the kind of artwork you want to see from Bissette.
Hmm. Do not have that. Interesting. What is he saying in that panel? I couldn't see it on the camera.
He doesn't actually say, it just says extra special bonus pinup, and then it's the drawing of
Oh,
him, and it's
okay, cool. No, no, that was not in the trade, nor was it on DC's online service, which is what I'm looking at while we film.
okay. I had to do a double check because I was looking at the signature and it said Bissette, and then like the inker signed it as well. And for a brief second, the signature for the inker almost looked like McFarlane, and I was like, oh my god, if you got Todd McFarlane to do something for this too, that would be awesome.
Right? So I give this issue 3 out of 5 undead coworkers. For me, the art was on point for most of the issue. The story was good. Did knock off half an undead coworker because generally I'm just not a huge fan of dream issues, and I did not appreciate knowing where the dream. No, I'm sorry. I did not appreciate not knowing where the dream ended and reality began. And I get that that's a narrative choice that Alan Moore made. I just don't like it.
I I'm actually going to agree with your score, and I know people who are long time, as in like like what, like 9, 10 weeks of long time viewers. They might get annoyed the fact that I do tend to agree with you a lot. They may feel lazy, but it was a slow burn. When it finally kicked off, it kicked off really, really good, which I appreciate. And like I said, the art was nice. I'm going to pick off a half a point, whatever, because of this is the segue to talk about what we need to discuss: the creepiness of Abby and Matt having sex in this issue, especially after what we've learned.
Right. The say uncle, and I'll give a little bit of a spoiler for something that becomes much more plain next issue. But that's Anton Arcane that's inside Matt. That's Abby's uncle, like blood relation uncle.
Yes, and I'm sure people could probably make the quote unquote logical argument that, well, he's in a different body and they're not blood related right now. But I mean,
Nah,
that's still,
nah,
yeah, I'm not going to buy that excuse. I
absolutely
wouldn't
not.
buy that excuse with a coupon. That is just not cool.
Agreed. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We are really glad you're here with us watching. We do this for the love of the comics medium.
Please join us on Patreon, where we have our post-crisis chat book club for our members. We let our patrons get their say, pardon my French, on the book, and we'll read some of those comments on the channel when we record. So, you get to get like a shout out.
Exactly. And also don't forget to check out the description below for links to our Amazon affiliate page. You can pick up the book that we were reading tonight. It's down there in various formats. You've got Absolute Edition, which is the big giant hardcover where you get to see all that really detailed art. Like you can see Matt's zombie face in the panel almost as big as a real face because that's how big the Absolute Editions are. But you know what? Even if you can't afford or don't want that big of a book, you can grab the trade paperback itself for a very inexpensive amount. We got that link down. If you want all the trade paperbacks in Alan Moore's series, they come in a nice box set and you get a good discount when you buy the box set. So those are links down below. Those are Amazon affiliate links. If you click that affiliate link to make the purchase, a little bit of your purchase comes back to the channel and doesn't cost you any extra.
Yes. And once again, even though we shamelessly plugged in the beginning, we're going to shamelessly plug again because that's what we do. We shamelessly plug. So you can follow us on Blue Sky. The link is in the description down below. There we will be announcing when we post new episodes. And so you're going to want to be up to date on that. So you gotta get in on that stuff. And also if you could do us a huge favor, and we're not going to ask for your firstborn child or anything, but this is a simple favor.
Not yet.
Give us a like on the video. Give us a subscribe on the channel, comment on the video, do all this kind of stuff because it does help us support the channel, helps us grow, helps us feel important. It boosts our ego a little bit.
That too. And here's the part where we still haven't figured out what our sign off is. You know what? If you have a good sign off for us, put it down below. Okay, what you got? What you got?
I was just gonna say that. You're like mind melding right here, baby, right here.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do that. You know what? If you guys are watching the video and you have a idea for a sign off, you know what? Pop them up there. We'll try them out, and we'll see what ends up looking like the best one. And winner gets a shout out. Maybe a firm handshake. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
For sure. I got plenty of extra comic books that I don't need. Maybe we'll even send you one if we pick yours. Anyway,
I
thank you for everybody for joining us. Yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say I actually have a double of a issue of a future episode that we're gonna do of Saga the Swamp Thing. I have a double issue of that. If someone wants a single issue, hey, we can give that away.
For sure. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have a good night. Cookie, thank you for being here with me. It's always a pleasure.
Oh yes, the pleasure is all yours.
It certainly is.